New festival? Arch-tempered Nergigante? Geralt is coming to Monster Hunter? Monster Hunter World Iceborne massive expansion? Arch-tempered KULVE TAROTH? Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here, coming at you with another edition of the Cons Cast, and in this episode we're going to be going over all of the announcements that were made earlier today for Monster Hunter World. I'd actually planned on live streaming all of this over on Twitch, but unfortunately due to a family emergency I wasn't able to do so. Either way, let's get started. The very first thing that was announced was Arch-tempered KULVE TAROTH, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm not particularly excited about this. It is going to be arriving on the 19th of December, and basically they're going to be introducing a couple of new mechanics to the raid. Now, the very first mechanic is going to be if you fulfill certain conditions before KULVE TAROTH sheds its gold plating, she's going to enter a new Furied state. Great! She's going to be more pissed off. That means that she's going to have new, more powerful attacks that will probably be able to kill you guys faster. She'll probably be more aggressive and more unpredictable. Those are the kind of things that I expect. And at this point, I know that you guys are probably wondering, okay, Rurikhan, why the hell would I want to do that then? Well, because if you complete the siege after you get her into this enraged state, you're going to get a new tier of rewards. Now, if you guys remember, the rewards from KULVE TAROTH are tiered. You got like the silver-colored rewards, then the gold-colored rewards, and now you're going to get a new color of rewards, which is the rainbow color, which I find interesting. But either way, so these rainbow items give you a chance at a new set of weapons, and this is where I have a huge problem with this whole thing. So right now, as it is, KULVE TAROTH already has a massive loot pool. So even if you go and do the current iteration of KULVE TAROTH, actually getting one of the weapons that you are looking for is complete loot box, complete RNG, and it's a very small chance that you actually get the stuff that you want. As a matter of fact, the first time that KULVE TAROTH came around, I remember farming her every single day for those 2 weeks, and I only got the one weapon that I wanted, like on the very last day. I was lucky enough to get it, which was the TAROTH Buster, which allowed me to make the Face Buster build that you guys know. Basically, it took me all 2 weeks of farming her almost non-stop. It was ridiculous. I was not happy about that. Since then, they've added more weapons to KULVE TAROTH, and now they're adding even more. And the thing is, if the rainbow items guaranteed access to the new loot pool, that would be one thing, but the rainbow items give you a chance of getting items from the new loot pool, which basically means they're mixing the new loot pool with the already existing loot pool of weapons that exists in KULVE TAROTH, which in my opinion is just way too much RNG. Like, for instance, I'm trying to get that hammer that was added to the loot pool on the last KULVE TAROTH update. Forget about that. I completely gave up on that because I got way too tired of running KULVE TAROTH. So now you're going to add more weapons on top of that. I just feel that that is way too RNG, and it goes against one of the things that I really like about Monster Hunter, which is, hey, I want to craft the Rathalos sword. I'll go out there, kill a Rathalos, and craft the Rathalos sword. Going after loot from KULVE TAROTH is always a frustrating experience for me personally, which is why I'm not particularly excited about this. I'll probably still run lobbies because I know that there's going to be a bunch of people that want to do this. So I'll run lobbies for you guys, but this is not one of the things that I'm excited for. Besides getting a chance at a new tier of weapons in the event, you're also going to be able to craft the KULVE TAROTH Gamma set. Now that is something that we'll definitely want to go ahead and do because usually the previous KULVE TAROTH set was pretty damn good. So I expect the Gamma set to be good as well. And another interesting thing is that after Arch-tempered KULVE TAROTH shows up, you're no longer going to get the regular KULVE TAROTH. I'm guessing that's because, you know, you can get the regular loot from the Arch-tempered version of KULVE TAROTH, and since she only shows up ever so often, they probably just want, okay, when she shows up, you can get loot from both things if you want to. That also makes me believe that probably Arch-tempered KULVE TAROTH is not going to be significantly harder unless you trigger her enraged state by doing whatever you gotta do before she sheds her gold plating. Either way, those are the news in regards to Arch-tempered KULVE TAROTH. Moving right along. Capcom is pretty happy with the fact that Monster Hunter World is doing pretty good. Therefore, they're doing a new event, which is called the Appreciation Fest, which is pretty much the anniversary event for Monster Hunter World. So I expect this to be around January. They didn't give us specific dates. They say you're going to have a decorated gathering hub, you're going to have special quests, and I'm assuming you're going to get some kind of an event armor as well as a layered armor. So there you go. There's going to be a new event around January that we can all get together and enjoy. Now, another thing, and this one was one of the more exciting things that I really liked, is there's going to be a Witcher crossover. And I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are like, well, we've had crossovers before. It's not that big of a deal. Like, remember the Dante one? It was just like one quest. It's not a big deal at all. Now, I would assume that from this crossover, we're going to be getting a full armor set, which is going to make us look like Geralt. I would also expect us to get a layered set because it's kind of the same stuff that we got from Dante. I wouldn't really expect the new monsters, because if you were going to get new monsters, you would have gotten it from the Dante crossover, the Devil May Cry crossover, because those are two Capcom properties. So I would not expect like a monster from Witcher to show up, but hey, it would be one hell of a nice surprise if it did, wouldn't it? Now, one of the interesting thing about this is that they say they're going to be working on unique quests that inject the immersive RPG experience of The Witcher 3 into the gameplay of Monster Hunter World. And the very first thing that I thought when I heard this was like, does that mean we're finally going to have sex with the handler? I'm sorry. Isn't that what The Witcher does? No, I'm just joking around, you guys. I just had to go there. I'm sorry. I'm 12. I know. Either way, they say that this is going to be a brand new experience like we've never before seen. Now, this is actually a cool, interesting thing, because if you guys remember with the Behemoth encounter, it was actually quite different from a lot of the things that we were used to. And the base version of that fight is actually pretty cool to do, in my opinion. Now, the tempered version of Arch-Tempered Behemoth, the tempered version of Behemoth, or Extreme Behemoth, now that's a whole nother discussion to be had. Either way, Geralt will also be voiced by the original voice actors. And I say voice actors because, you know, there's different Geralt voice actors depending on if you're in a region that uses the English voice acting or if you're in a region that uses, like, you know, the French, German. They're working with all the original Geralt voice actors to bring the voice of Geralt into the game. And they say that they've consulted with CD Projekt Red. So I'm actually really curious to see what this is going to be about, because they're definitely hyping it up quite a bit. I think it's going to be much more significant than the Dante quest, but I still don't expect it to have a new monster. I could be wrong, who knows? They say that this is going to be coming in early 2019. Next, they also teased us, indicating that Arch-Tempered NERGIGANTE was going to be showing up as well, and I think that nobody was really surprised by the fact that we're going to get Arch-Tempered NERGIGANTE. He's pretty much the flagship monster of this version of Monster Hunter, so therefore not really a big deal. They didn't say much more about Arch-Tempered NERGIGANTE, and this right here was the best news, the news that everybody was waiting for, and this shows you that the Monster Hunter team is still very much in touch with their community, and they know what the community wants, because everybody, when the live stream started and they're like, oh, here's Arch-Tempered KULVE TAROTH, here's another crossover event, everybody in the live stream, I was watching this right on Twitch, and everybody in the live stream was like, oh man, dead game, all this other stuff, just like basically spouting nonsense and saying that Monster Hunter World sucks and that it's got no content, all of this other bullshit. And Capcom is specifically the Monster Hunter team is aware of the fact that people want more content. So they knew that they wanted to announce Arch-Tempered KULVE TAROTH and, you know, Arch-Tempered NERGIGANTE and the Witcher crossover. And they knew they couldn't just do that because people would be upset. So what did they do? They're like, okay, here you go. Boom! Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion. They called it a massive expansion DLC. Existing owners of the game will be able to purchase this. This is going to be a paid DLC. It is not going to be a free DLC. They say they're going to be adding a new quest rank, new monsters, new locales. That means new maps, as in plural, more than one. New moves. Now, new moves, I don't know exactly what they mean by new moves. Does it mean that the weapons are going to get upgraded movesets? Are we talking about Hunter arts? Are we talking? What are we talking about here, Capcom? It's like just saying the word new moves. Like, what does that mean? I need to understand. New moves for what? For us? New moves for the monsters? What's happening? Okay, I really need a better definition of what new moves means. Anyway, and besides all that, we're also going to be getting new equipment. There's going to be a new story, which is going to begin after the events of Monster Hunter World. And for those of you wondering, okay, Rurikhan, okay. How big is this going to be? They say this expansion will be the size of previous G or Ultimate entries in the series. This is your G rank for Monster Hunter World, and it is going to be landing in autumn of 2019. They're going to be giving more detailed information around spring of 2019. So there you have it, boys. We are going to be getting something that is comparable to a G-Rank expansion. I find it interesting that they're hesitant to call it G-Rank because I think that Monster Hunter World is setting itself up to be a lot different from the previous entries in the franchise with the whole Tempered Monsters thing. There's more flexibility when it comes to tiers. It's not just like, okay, you got your low rank, you got your high rank, and then you got your G rank. And here, it's different. Okay, I don't know what they're going to be calling it, but they do seem hesitant to call it G rank. But essentially, for all intents and purposes, it is the equivalent of G rank from Monster Hunter World. Sorry, but I'm just super excited about this one. This is like one of the biggest things that we all wanted to hear, and I'm just really pumped. I can't wait to learn more about this, and at the same time, still really curious about that Geralt expansion thing. Anyway, then they also announced that there's going to be a Monster Hunter World trial. It is only going to be available for a week from December 11th until December 17th. And the reason why they're doing this, because Ryozo himself says, hey, this is a good time for you guys to invite your friends onto the hunt and, you know, play the game with them, is because Ryozo is aware that this is a game that it's hard for people to get into. It's hard for people to learn how to play the different weapons and all of that stuff. So he's saying, hey, how about you guys train your friends, like teach them how to hunt so that they can then buy the game, which is a genius marketing tactic, by the way, because this is how Monster Hunter has actually grown over time, is through word of mouth. That's like the biggest success of Monster. I myself, with the first time that I played a Monster Hunter game, it was Monster Hunter Tri. I hated it because I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Eventually, a friend of mine taught me how to play the game, and then I was like, oh, now I get it. Now I understand why this game is so cool. And basically, that's what he's trying to do, because with Monster Hunter winning the nomination for Best RPG on the VGAs, that's going to bring a lot of new eyeballs onto the game. A lot of people are going to be on the fence, like, maybe I should check this out. Maybe this is for me. And they want players to like, hey, teach your friends. So this is actually going to be a good time. You guys should tell all of your friends to boot up the demo. All of your friends that don't have Monster Hunter, to boot up the demo, play the game, and then send them over to my channel so that they can check out the weapon tutorials and all of that stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that is all of the announcements that we've had today for Monster Hunter World. I'm curious what you guys think about all of this. I know that probably most people are super excited about Iceborne, and that is going to be the main talking point. But ultimately, I'm also very curious, how do you guys feel about Arch-Tempered KULVE TAROTH? Because I know that I'm not a huge fan of how the rewards work on there. I think that there needs to be a better system. Like maybe you can work towards a specific weapon or something like that. Because one of the great things about Monster Hunter, for me personally, is that, you know, there is a certain degree of randomness in a lot of the things that you do, particularly when it comes to decorations and stuff like that. But I don't like that randomness when it comes to weapons specifically. Like I can deal with randomness in charms like we have on Generations Ultimate. I can deal with randomness even on the decorations like I said. But on the weapons, I'm just like, dude, a weapon is such an integral part of the experience that I really don't like. And I know that it's been done before in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate or whatever, and I wouldn't have liked it there either. So, you know, there you go. Either way, thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit it up with a like button. If you guys are new here, remember, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitch. If you guys are not following me on Twitch, you're really, really, really missing out. Comments and feedback in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.